Jim, given the circumstances, is that a good point on the board?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, for the boys to show the kind of character that they did, fighting right till the end and playing right to that last kick of the ball, I think they deserve a lot of credit for that. I think, lesser teams would have maybe given up with 5-10 minutes to go because, lesser teams probably think it's not going to be our day, but full credit to the group. They kept going, they kept fighting, they kept playing, and I think they got the rewards in the end. Listen, we're not happy to draw the game because we fully expected to come and win the game, but we knew Dunfermline were going to be difficult. They're a well organised team. They've got some good experienced players in their back line there, particularly Benedictus, who they defend well when you get forward. But I did think that the opening 25 minutes, I thought we were really, really good and very positive and got into some very good areas. Just probably lacked that little bit of composure and that little bit of cutting edge at that key moment. But, the game kind of got a little bit scrappy then going into the last 15-20 minutes of the first half. I think the injury kind of unsettled us, and having to move Grimshaw back into the full-back area, Archie coming on in the middle of the park. I think the game then became very, end-to-end, and there was nobody really showing any real quality at that particular period. But second half, obviously, very disappointed with the goal. We'd set up for a long throw. We know that Dunfermline like to put the ball in the box with every opportunity, and they set up to throw the ball into the 18-yard box. But in fairness to them, they caught us out. They ended up with a 2v1 out in the wide area. Chalmers put a very good delivery in, and Whiten, it's a brilliant header from him. You've got to credit the opposition sometimes. Yes, I could be critical of my boys and say we should have had a 2-for-2 out wide and we should have been a little bit closer to the Dunfermline striker. But sometimes the opposition do things that you're not prepared for, and credit to them for catching us out at that moment. I then thought thereafter, we completely dominated the game. I thought we controlled it for large periods. Dunfermline hit us on the break a couple of occasions because of the amount of bodies we were committing forward. But I was getting a bit frustrating, I think, for everybody with the amount of time wasting that was going on. And we would probably do the same if the shoe was on the other foot. But in fairness to the players, they kept going, showed great character, and a real moment of individual quality from Wee Cudge.
Given the fact we've just come off the back of 4 consecutive clean sheets, you can't really point the finger at the defence for conceding the goal they did.
No, listen, I think I thought Gallagher and Holt for the majority of the game were excellent. Those aerial duels that you talk about with central defenders, I think they won probably 90-95% of those battles. I just think on that occasion for the goal, I think when we watch it back, and I haven't had a chance to watch it back, but just going off of what I saw live, the setup for the throw in the wide area was poor, and Whiten had too much space. But I think you've got to credit Dunfermline. It was a really good delivery, and it was a fantastic header from the centre forward. So no, I can't really be too critical. I think if you include the Carlisle friendly, 4 clean sheets in the last 5 games. Unbeaten in 5, they're things that we can be pleased with. We want to carry on the unbeaten run, and you just never know. Come the end of the season, this could be a very, very valuable point.
You mentioned the time wasting and the dominance after that goal. Does that just re-emphasise how important it is to score first in this league?
Yeah, I think when the opposition scores first against us, especially here at Tannadice, I think it's the likelihood is that they're going to get lots of players back behind the ball and they're going to try and frustrate us. And I think that's probably one of the most pleasing things, is that my lads didn't get sucked into just going long and going direct and playing into Dunfermline's hands because that's what they wanted. We still tried to pass, and we still tried to play, and we still tried to find players in pockets of space in between their midfield and back line, everything that we work on in training. And we got a reward in the end. The goal kind of comes from that, with Cudge playing just in that little pocket of space in front of their back 3. And as I said, a brilliant goal. I think if you analyse the game and you were to look at the stats, we probably had 60% possession. I think we've had nearly 25 goal attempts. Last week at Arbroath we had nearly half that amount of goal attempts and ended up scoring 4 goals. So, we we had got ourselves into some good areas today. You know, second half we had 2 or 3 really good opportunities just nipping by the post. On another day that, you know, they find the inside of the post. But one thing is for sure, it wasn't for a lack of effort, it wasn't for a lack of commitment. The boys, sometimes just when we get into those areas, we just need to calm ourselves down, show that little bit more composure and work the goalkeeper most importantly. You know, we don't need them to be going in the top corner every time, but force the opposition keeper into making a save. I think that's the most important thing.
The relief finally came about 5 minutes into added time. It's the second week in a row that Matthew Cudjoe stepped forward and showed his quality. It feels like it's going to be a big season for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of frustration with Cudge last year and the lack of game time, and I think, you know, the situation that we were in as a club, you know, playing in real physical battles, it probably didn't suit him. I think, you know, this coming season, you know, we've been able to work a lot in pre-season on patterns of play and how we want to impose ourselves in the opposition, and, you know, recognising that we're probably going to have plenty of the ball this season. You know, Cudjoe falls into that category of players that can handle it, that can take it in tight areas. He's very brave on it. He won't go hiding. You know, and he is only a young lad. I think he's 19 years old. He's still, you know, learning the game, and with every game he gets, the more experience he'll get with it, and the better that he'll continue to develop. But, you know, he just has to, in the middle of the park, speed his game up a little bit, take less touches, and then when he gets up into that attacking third, he knows he's got the freedom to go and do what he sees. And you know, I thought it was another very good game from him. I thought the fans were brilliant with him as well. You know, sometimes he can be a little bit frustrating because he, you know, maybe sometimes doesn't see the right pass at the right moment. But in fairness to him, it doesn't matter how many times he gives the ball away, he always shows for it the next time. And you know, that's 2 terrific goals back to back in the league. You know, 2 and 2 for the wee man. And yeah, I think he's going to be a very big player for us this campaign.
Just looking ahead, it's quite unorthodox to have a break this early in the season. So what are the plans for the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're obviously disappointed to have the break. We'd rather be involved in the League Cup, but you know, that's the way it went, unfortunately. So the players will work hard next week. We've got a friendly lined up, a behind closed doors friendly lined up against Burnley. Because they were due to play Luton next weekend, and because of the problems that Luton are having with their stadium at the moment, they can't fulfil that fixture. So we got offered the game against them at their training ground, and I must reiterate to the fans, it is behind closed doors, and unfortunately we won't be able to get anybody in, but it gives me a good opportunity to get some of the players in the squad who need some valuable minutes, to get them some game time.